tough not having Jaylen here?
Yeah. I mean, it's so many guys that could, take that last spot or whatever. So, yeah, it is.
The biggest story out of Team USA was off the court. Derek White has replaced Kawhi Leonard on the roster as Kawhi continues to nurse a right knee injury that he aggravated during the NBA playoffs. Executive Director Grant Hill said it was a Team USA decision to send him home from training camp. And Jaylen Brown, by the way, he took social media and took notice, reacting to the decision, posting the face with the monocle emoji. I know Seth is big with the emojis. He did it 3 times, followed by another which read, Nike, this what we doing? Hill was asked about Brown's tweets and constructing the Olympic roster.
You got 12 spots, and you have to build a team. And one of the hardest things is leaving people off the roster that I'm a fan of, that I look forward to watching throughout the season, throughout the playoffs. But the responsibility that I have is to put together a team, and a team that complements each other, a team that fits, a team that will give us the best opportunity for success. And so, whatever theories that might be out there, they're just that.
Okay, so first of all, I love the way Grant Hill attacked that question with that answer. So I want to know from you, did Jaylen Brown, do you think he got snubbed from the Olympic team?
I don't know if he got snubbed, but I feel for him. He's Kawhi Leonard 2.0. So if you lose Kawhi Leonard, why wouldn't you put in Kawhi Leonard 2.0? 6'6", 6'7", defends, runs the floor, impacts the game on the defensive end, gets you extra possessions on the offensive glass, can shoot the 3, can play in isolations, can play with others. He proved that, winning the most outstanding player of the finals, an elite talent, and a winning player. Having said that, I agree with Grant Hill. You're trying to put together a team. Would he accept that role? But I feel for Jaylen Brown because of what he was able to do as a player, a winning player, win a championship. He checked every single box. And if you lose Kawhi Leonard, if you're Jaylen Brown, you're looking to say, wait a second. If you lose a guy that fits that role, I'm the perfect replacement. How could they not selected me and then select another player that I played with to win a championship in the NBA? Obviously, that's probably another story.
Yeah, look, there's 2 parts to that. I want to dig in first from the roster perspective, because you heard Grant Hill say, look, I've got a team, I've got a roster to build. From a roster perspective, taking Jaylen's bona fides out of it because they were there and qualified, what do you make from a roster perspective of this decision?
I think it was a great decision with Derek White, because Derek White's role for the Celtics will now be his same role for USA basketball. All right? Look, Derek White, he's going to embrace and champion whatever role he's given. Can he defend? Can he make an open shot? Is he a ball mover? Is he a good cutter? Is he a blend player, a connector? Yes. You play him 10 minutes, you play him 5 minutes, you play him 15 minutes. He's going to embrace whatever role is given him. So in regards to that, he is a perfect fit for this basketball team.
Okay, so then there's the other layer to it, because you mentioned 2 of his teammates are on here. Jaylen Brown and the Celtics, they appear to be in one of those runs where they can go on a run for 3, 4, 5 years. They've got everyone locked up. How do you deal with this if you're the Celtics internally, knowing that 2 of the 3 players are on the roster, Jaylen Brown not one of them?
Yeah, they've got 3 players on this roster right now. Obviously, Tatum, who's earned his way on the roster. And then, obviously the addition of Derek White with Drew Holiday. And look, this is a USA basketball decision. This is not a Boston Celtics decision. This is Grant Hill saying, what does this team need? What is the missing piece now that we lose Kawhi Leonard? But if you're the Boston Celtics, and I'd ask Mike T this question, you must address this issue, because you've got a great locker room. You're coming off a championship. You have a team that's built to defend and maybe make a run to be the next, basically, dynasty in the NBA. You don't want to mess up with that chemistry. This is a USA basketball decision, but it still affects your locker room if you're basically the front office of the Celtics.
Yeah, and Mike Tannenbaum is on the program today, a front office executive in his own right. Mike T, is this something to be really, really concerned about? All right, we'll stand by with that. We'll get to him in just a minute. Let's go to college football season.
But just a little bit of a reminder here of how this saga has unfolded. Jaylen Brown maybe seemed a little bit, let's go with confused by the news, because less than an hour after White was named to the Olympic roster, he posted this, just some thinking monocle emojis. And then after, he followed up with a nice direct quote saying at Nike, this is what we're doing now. So Nike, of course, is one of the sponsors for Team USA. So managing director Grant Hill, he responded yesterday. Take a listen.
Well, for a good portion of my career, that was supposed to be a joke. You got 12 spots, and you have to build a team. And one of the hardest things is leaving people off the roster that I'm a fan of, that I look forward to watching throughout the season, throughout the playoffs. Guys who've been finals MVPs, guys who've been a part of the program, guys who've won gold medals. The responsibility that I have is to put together a team, and a team that complements each other, a team that fits, a team that will give us the best opportunity for success.
Okay, so some good context there from Grant Hill. But Mark, you spoke to some folks out in Vegas. Just help us understand the decision-making process here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of going back to that piano player thing with Grant Hill. Talked to him about it, and he just, someone's going to be mad, and a lot of people are going to be mad. Everybody can't be happy, but that NBA head coach that I talked to who had USA basketball experience said he thought Derek White was a great selection. Somebody got to be the 12th man, right? I did talk to Jayson Tatum, asked him about it, kind of being bittersweet. You're adding a third second, and Celtic, and he said that, you know, they're adding more championship DNA to the roster. And I'm like, well, what about Jaylen Brown? Have you talked to him? Took a deep breath, and he just said, no. And that was it.
Okay, so they haven't spoken about it, at least not yet. Bobby, do you think that they made the right decision by Derek White being the selection?
I do. I just look at last year playing on the World Cup team with Derek White, having that international experience, and as Mark said, kind of being that 11th and 12th man, kind of filling a role. I think you could have went Mikal Bridges. I think you could have went Josh Hart, two wings that played international ball last year. And this is not an all-star game. This is not an all-star game where we're getting up and down. It's about defending. It's about finding a role. And I think Derek White was the right choice.
Zach, last word on this?
I'm fine with it. I understand why Jaylen Brown's mad. He was just named the best player in the semifinals and the finals in the best league in the world. And 3 of his teammates are on this team. Yeah. But look, all of these guys, stars, role players, whatever, they're all capable of modulating their games to fit within this context. We saw that last night. Derek White is maybe a little more amenable to that, a little bit of an easier, faster, speedier playmaker, but you can't go wrong, and I understand why he's mad, but I think Derek White's a great fit for what this specific Team USA needs.
Hey, I think
Hey, what's up, guys? Jag from Jaggy Sports here. Does Jaylen Brown deserve to be on Team USA? Abso-freaking-lutely. The guy's finals MVP. You think that they would have chose him over Derek White. But is there controversy? Why wouldn't you choose the finals MVP? Why wouldn't you choose the man that played phenomenal in the playoffs? And I'm talking, that's the reason why he was the finals MVP. Going into the Olympics, you want to win. Right? You want to win the Olympics, especially after that performance in FIBA, 2 years ago or something like that. You want to make sure you destroy the competition. So you get Jaylen Brown. Now, you guys saw the videos. You saw what Jayson Tatum said, and he doesn't want to get into it. He doesn't want to back his, his teammate. You could have just said, yeah, Jaylen Brown deserves to be on this team. You could have just said that, right? But whatever. So let's backtrack. And the reason why I want to backtrack is because Phil Knight, the co-founder of Nike, pretty much said in a tweet, Kyrie Irving has stepped over the line in posting an anti-Semitic film. That's what Nike said. And guess what? Then Nike dropped Kyrie Irving. They dropped Kyrie Irving, and then all of a sudden, like Kyrie Irving got his own shoe, I forget what it's called, Anta or something. But when that happened, Jaylen Brown stood up for Kyrie Irving. and said, oh, Nike, we care about ethics now, right? Something like that. Not word for word, but something like that, right? And, that was, I think, in 2022, I believe it was, in November. And then all of a sudden, fast forward to Team USA, Kawhi Leonard goes out, another topic, another video, another discussion. Kawhi Leonard has knee inflammation, and he gave it a go. It didn't work out, and he can't play. He cannot play for Team USA. This was yesterday morning. And shortly, and I'm talking shortly after that, they announced Derek White will be replacing him. And within the hour, I think it was. Right? So they didn't consider Jaylen Brown a replacement at all, because you already had a backup in Derek White, right? You already had a backup in Derek White. So they didn't consider Jaylen Brown. Now, once the news was out there that Derek White would replace Kawhi Leonard, Jaylen Brown sent a tweet out with 3 emojis, with the magnifying glass, like what the hell kind of thing, right? And then he sent out another tweet saying, Nike, this is what we're doing, right? Because Nike is a big sponsor for Team USA. Now, Jaylen Brown is a very smart guy, and he stands up for what he believes in, right? He stands up, and he stood up for Kyrie Irving, claiming the ethics part. Now, he stood up for Kyrie Irving, and that's what he said to Nike, right? So he's on to something. Obviously, this has Nike written all over it. Nike doesn't want to, sponsor a person on Team USA that obviously said, Nike, we care about ethics now, because it makes Nike look bad. It made Nike look bad on his tweet. But if they were to, put Jaylen Brown on that team, on Team USA, that would make Nike look bad. It makes Nike look bad now because of what Jaylen Brown said about Nike. And that is the reason why he's not on Team USA. That's what Jaylen Brown believes, and that is what basically the entire NBA believes right now, because if you add up all the dots like we just did, kind of seems that it's true. It kind of seems fishy to me, because Grant Hill, you just saw the video, Grant Hill said, I'm just trying to build a team. I was watching Frank Isola off Sirius XM Radio, NBA Today, pretty much said, hey, if Grant Hill wanted to, he could have shut this down. He could have said, this has nothing to do with the tweet that he sent out about ethics or whatever, controversy, yada, yada, yada. But instead, he clearly just said, I'm just trying to build a team. I'm just trying to build a team, right? That is what he said. Grant Hill could have shut it down. Nike could have shut it down by saying, sending a tweet that, we chose Derek White because he fit the mode and blah, 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 blah. But nobody said it. But what strikes me is Jayson Tatum. Jayson Tatum, when asked, hey, have you talked to Jaylen Brown? He goes, no. There's a lot of guys that deserve to be on Team USA. He could have backed his own freaking teammate and said, yeah, Jaylen Brown deserves to be on Team USA. He could have backed him up. But he doesn't want to rustle any feathers, right? Or ruffle any feathers. He doesn't want to ruffle any feathers with Team USA, with Nike, so therefore he keeps his mouth shut. If it was the other way around, Jaylen Brown would have definitely said something to stand up for his teammate. But Jayson Tatum didn't. I'm just throwing it out there that, when one person is your friend, your teammate, you think they'd stand up for you, but in this case, Jayson Tatum didn't stand up for Jaylen Brown. I would have thought Jayson Tatum said Jaylen Brown deserves to be on Team USA. I would have thought that, right? But didn't happen. So what I want to ask you guys is one simple question. And I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this. Pretty sure I know the answer to this. Jaylen Brown, phenomenal athlete, played his lights out. All-star, finals MVP, great contributor to the community. Google that. He's awesome. And my question to you guys is, does Jaylen Brown deserve to be on Team USA? Leave a comment in the comment section. As always, Jag from Jaggy Sports.